be the Republican nominee, and he joins us now. Mitt Romney, welcome to the Rick and Bubba Show. How are you?
I'm terrific, thank you. It's an honor to be with you guys.
It's our pleasure.
Governor, thank you for being with us, and I know you've got a limited amount of time, so we'll jump right in. Let me ask you this. You're coming to the Deep South, and you're leading. Congratulations so far on the race. But the exit polls are showing that you're not connecting as well as I think you want to with the Tea Party conservatives and the evangelical Christians. And we just want to give you a moment to address those groups, because that's a big part of what you're going to see here in the Deep South, to address them and pull them over to vote for you.
Well, I know they get a chance to get to know people pretty well, and so I won't pretend that in a couple of minutes I can convince everybody to come join me, but I can tell you this, which is that I believe that we need a much smaller federal government. I want to send parts of the federal government back to the states where it can be run better, and there are other parts of the federal government I want to shut down completely. One of those, of course, is Obamacare. We're going to get out of that entirely. So I'm for a smaller government, and I'm for a balanced budget, and I'm going to go to work to cut back on programs, eliminate programs, send some back to citizens and states, and shrink the size of the federal government so we can finally balance our budget. And I can also tell you that I'm a pro-life, pro-traditional marriage, pro-gun candidate. I served as the governor of my state, as you know, and my state of Massachusetts, unlike right here in Alabama and Mississippi and the Deep South, is kind of a liberal state. I battled in if you will, in an away game, working real hard to try and put in place conservative principles. And my record is as a pro-life, pro-traditional marriage governor. So if people are looking for someone who can beat Barack Obama and who has the skill and the experience in the private sector to get good jobs again with rising incomes and finally take advantage of our energy resources, start drilling in the Gulf and Anwar and the Outer Continental Shelf, as well as making sure that we get that oil from Canada with the Keystone Pipeline, then I'm your guy.
Let me ask you this, Rick, because one of the areas that I think we have to deal with, because I believe if you make it and you are the nominee, that I know how the opposition works, and they'll do anything to defeat you. And one of the things they're going to come after is your Mormon faith. Evangelical Christians don't always agree that Mormons are also Christians, just another denomination. And one of those issues concerns Israel. I have friends who are Mormons, and sometimes I get a feeling that the Mormon faith calls America the promised land, not Israel. Therefore, they almost feel like that our biblical mandate to always support Israel is not necessarily in play anymore. Where do you stand on Israel?
I am without question committed to Israel as a Jewish nation. I have made it very clear. As a matter of fact, the Prime Minister of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, and I are old friends. We worked together at our first job many decades ago back in Boston. He was back there as well. We got to know each other then, and we've kept in touch. I just saw him, just spoke with him a couple of days ago, but saw him in Israel and spent a couple of hours with him at his home. I'm committed to making sure that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. We got a president who has been soft on Iran. He said he was going to meet with Ahmadinejad. He should have indicted him instead for incitation to genocide. And he also was failed to speak out in favor of the dissidents when they took to the streets in Tehran. Our president failed to put in place crippling sanctions against Iran. And he's failed to put in place military options that are credible, that can convince the Iranians that they're going down the wrong road, seeking nuclear power. This is the big issue that Israel faces today, and I stand with Israel and am absolutely committed in their effort and our mutual effort to keep Iran from having nuclear weapons.
Governor, if you're sworn in, you're president, and following up on that, what do you do today about the Iranian situation in Israel? What can you do? You've told us what the president hasn't done, but what would you do different if you take the office today?
Well, first of all, of course, he's lost valuable time, and it's hard to make up that time. But you want to have implemented as quickly as you can crippling sanctions against Iran, and you want to be working with dissident voices in Iran to try and move towards a change in regime. And you also want to have it very, very clear throughout the region that we're working together to stop Iran. And finally, you have to put in place substantial military plans that Iran knows we can and will use if they continue down the same course. And that means stationing 2 aircraft carrier battle forces, one in the Gulf, one in the Mediterranean, It means other military resources at Iran's door. So they know we are poised to strike at any time, that we are standing with Israel and standing with our other friends in the Middle East who concur with us that Iran must follow the nuclear non-proliferation treaty. They must not create fissile material. If they continue going down that course, there will be consequences, and they may well and should well include military options.
Let me follow up on that, and we're talking hypothetically, but if we get to that point and they continue and they look like they have now created a weapon and have a means to deliver it, do you support a first strike against them, either by Israel or by us, or a combination of the two, to halt that process?
Yes. And I think you'd have to actually act before they actually had a weapon, a deliverable weapon. They have to understand that we will take military kinetic action if they continue to pursue a nuclear option. That is unacceptable to us. It's unacceptable to Israel. It's unacceptable to the world.
We got about 2 minutes left, Mitt. What about our problems at home, which I think is an area where most conservatives are more comfortable already with you, is the fact that we seem to have lost all sense of sanity on the size of our debt, the size of our government. You mentioned that earlier. What would you do from a tax structure to try to jumpstart this economy that the liberals just don't seem to get, that you cannot tax your way into prosperity?
Well, you are so right. And the president is proposing to raise the tax rate from 35% to 40%. That's on small businesses. Small businesses pay taxes at the individual tax rate.
Right.
That's going to mean jobs lost, businesses lost. It's a disaster. The right course that I proposed is to cut taxes across the board, all marginal tax rates by 20%. Get this economy going again by encouraging small business. Cut regulation that's killing small business. Take advantage of our energy resources. Start drilling for oil, gas. Use our nuclear capacity, our oil our coal resources, and finally, crack down on China for stealing American jobs. And by the way, don't tilt the playing field towards organized labor. Labor unions have a role to play, but with this administration, you got a president who's giving them the special deals. That's going to crush our ability to compete. He's doing it all wrong. If we do it right, we can have a much stronger recovery and put people back to work in high-paying jobs.
One more time before we go, because this, again, is something you're going to face. Do you, as a Mormon, believe that America is the new promised land, yes or no?
You're going to have to go talk to the church and ask them what they think about that. There's no question about the fact that Israel is the promised land. That's what the Bible tells us. And my guess is other lands are promised to other peoples.
All right. Thank you very much.
Governor, thank you so much for taking time.
Yeah, and he'll be in Birmingham, Alabama, 2 o'clock today. We have that up in show notes at rickandbubba.com. Going through the Deep South, and that'll be the heart of our audience. And thank you for taking time with us today.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, Governor.
God bless you. Thanks.